Alright, so I just tried recording a different game, but that failed. So Echo instead. Yeah, we were we had just reached Friday on Leo's route last time. I remember that viscerally because I freaked the fuck out when I noticed that because I know what happens on Friday. I know what happens on this day in this route. And it's been a minute, but I still remember it so viscerally because this is the day that introduced me to Brian. And that led to nightmares of extraordinary horrifyingness and other such things. Let's just get the fuck into this already, because I am just sick and tired of waiting and blabbering on. Why is it not doing anything? Okay, right, he's in the library, he's doing research on his project, and he's going to be talking about what Clint told him the other day about the dude that got his legs cut off. Wow. Clint had been lying after all. I knew. There goes my. There goes my echo knowledge. What? Leo whispers it at me from across the table, not looking up from his phone. Nothing, just finding some interesting stuff. I whisper back. Good. Leo grins but still doesn't look up from his phone. There isn't much to go off of. After reading through it, I'm pretty skeptical of Haunted Echo, the main source of my documentary. At least the bit of information I just came across references some newspaper articles from 1953. 53, 52. Good lord. The young wolf named Robert Smith wasn't even a resident of Echo. He'd been resting at the Echo classification yard after taking a train from the capital. He was on his way to the west coast, and once he thought he'd found the right train, he attempted to board it. No one knows exactly what happened. Yet somehow his train hopping went horribly wrong and he was found with both limbs severed 2 hours later. He'd managed to crawl 20 yards north along the rail before he was found. Somehow, impossibly, he survived the ordeal up to that point. This was mainly due to the mud packs that had been placed on the stumps, halting the bleeding. Of note was the fact that Robert had seemingly become delirious because of the blood loss, pain, or trauma. Likely a combination of all three, actually. He claimed that the bleeding had been stopped by a creature of some kind. When he tried to describe it, he began to sob and scream incoherently. It's hard to say how much of this is being exaggerated by the author. Either way, I don't exactly have time to track down all of her sources, so I'll just decide to trust it. My leg jumps as something soft and ticklish brushes up against it. I snap my gaze up at Leo. What? Leo gives me an innocent look while he continues to brush his tail against my leg. Well, if you're not gonna say anything, then please stop doing that. It's distracting. It does stop then, and I feel a little guilty, so I look back up. Thanks for getting a library card just so I could check this out. It's a huge help. He smiles. No problem. A tree? I don't fucking know. Not one of your sexier words. Return back to the book. It's unlikely that Robert would have survived. It's unlikely that Robert would have survived anyway due to the extent of the injuries and infection. Still, it is of note that he ended up committing suicide a few hours after discovery. He apparently slipped out the fifth-floor window at the Baden Regional Medical Center. Though authorities simply dismissed it as a case of a man knowing that his demise was nigh and finishing the job himself, the author speculates that it's something to do with the horrors he saw on the tracks. Of course. Echo. The only place in the furryverse where an author who's writing a biography literally has to mention he thinks it was a creature. Well, history book, whatever. I hear a soft whine coming from in front of me, and I lower the book to find Leo draped across the table on his chest. He's looking up at me with huge puppy eyes. You don't fucking fool me. I can't help but smile because it's so fucking adorable, even for a wolf as big as him. What? I have a project due, remember? Yeah, I know, but we've been here for 3 hours now. You should take a break. Oh, really? 3 hours. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Leo. Have you never heard of work? Have you never heard of work before, dude? I look at time and I'm shocked that he's actually right. How the hell did that happen? Because you were interested in what you were reading. That's why. Well, I guess it's a good idea. I was just finding some really interesting stuff. I'm sure that project of yours is going to turn out awesome. He grins and stands up abruptly, grabbing my book up as well so I can't continue to read it. Let's go get some lunch. It's already almost 3. Alright, do you want to go to the diner? You want to eat there? Well, it's been a few days. I'd like to catch up with the others, you know. I know that's what you wanted to do. Actually, everyone's busy. I already tried. Oh, really? What are they doing? Well, Flynn's working, TJ and Jen are out on a hike, and Carl's asleep. Oh. I just now realized I'm gonna have to do, I just now realized I'm gonna have, not just now, but like it's starting to dawn on me that I'm gonna have to do Brian's voice again, and I don't even remember how I did it last time or what it even was. Whatever. Whatever, I'll figure it out. It doesn't really seem like Leo to just blow off meeting up with everyone. But I guess at this point in the trip he's just tired of trying. I know I would be. Probably just to show me up after what I said last night, Leo takes me to a semi-fancy steakhouse. He, of course, insists I'm paying for everything. I'm not really sure when Leo became so concerned with how I perceive his income. I wonder, could it be he wants you to move in with him because he's still not over your fucking fling when you were teenagers? Oh my god. I don't mind though, the meal's good and I'm happy not to pay the $30 price tag. Oof. It does remind me of his job though, so I asked him about his schedule. He says his parents gave him the entire week off, which surprises me. Remember how Leo worked almost every day in that shop. Guess his dad, sorry, excuse me, he's just milling out with age. Again, I have no reason to complain, though. On the way back, Leo nudges me as I'm nodding off and gestures out his window. Peyton high. Sure enough, our old school is visible out the window. Want to swing around? Just to look at it? Yeah. It's hard, but we're not doing anything else. Alright, why not? It's past 5 at this point. As you pull up into the parking lot, there are only a few cars scattered around. We walk around the side of the school, then onto the football field. I forget if this is a choice or not, because I don't know, because Leo's like, do you want to get back together? I don't know if there's a choice or if it's just Chase being a dipshit. Well, I guess Sam, because, Chase is very hard, is indecisive, and doesn't make choices easily, apparently. Peyton High School put its money anywhere, it was definitely sports. That was one of the reasons I was so mediocre by comparison. What? Is that sentence... Every sport in the school was extremely competitive, each one winning state regularly. They win state against them and gone? Nope, came close last year, though. Almost as close as we did back in '09. Oh yeah, you still sore about that? Leo sits down on the top of the bench. Top bench of the concrete bleachers, and I sit down next to him. Oh, so they were in high school in '09. Right, of course. That must have been like their senior year or something. I don't know. The Echo takes place in 2015, and like they're in their 20s, so I'm just going off that, but like, yeah. Sometimes, mostly because we're so damn close, and it really just feels like it was yesterday. It does kind of feel that way. I can remember it pretty clearly. It was one of the few times I'd seen Leo really cry. Oh my god, it's just a game. It's only game. Why you have to be med? You wanted that championship so bad. I lean back and look around, breathing deeply. Wow. It's really nostalgic being back here, isn't it? Leo looks off towards the sunset, and I can see him getting glassy-eyed. Is it weird that if I could, I'd go through high school again? I think for a moment. Not really. I'd like to do it. Made a lot of mistakes. Well, not really like that. Not really because of that. More like it was a lot of fun. I just want to experience it all again. I grinned at him. Hey, you're talking like you peaked in high school. Did I? The question catches me completely off guard, and my stumbling around for words that follows doesn't help. No! He sighs. Leo, you've got a good paying job, your own house, a pretty damn good life. You're doing better than most. He laughs a little. I guess I'd just don't feel like it, you know? Why not? He leans back. Well, I don't feel as good as I did back then. When I think of high school or even further back. Man, those were the good days. Oh my god, we're really doing this. We're really doing this blind, glassy-eyed nostalgia. Fucking hell. I think about how completely inverse I am to that, how my life improved exponentially after I left the town. Well, you know, if you keep looking back, I don't think you'll ever be happy. Exactly, thank you, Chase. Okay, I have to admit this is really good art. It's honestly kind of cute, but like, ew. He looks so sad. I wrap an arm around his shoulders, which is a little difficult considering how broad they are. Because 5 years from now, you'll probably look back on this era of your life and think, man, I wish I could go back. Probably right. So let's just enjoy now. Leo sighs again and then looks straight down at me, meeting my eyes. Oh my god, here it comes. You play on Chase's heartstrings by saying he hasn't felt as good as he has since high school, and that was when you were dating, and now you're gonna ask him to get back together. Textbook manipulation. Chase. Yeah. He pauses, looking off to the side before turning his eyes back on mine. I'm not. Fucking hell. I love you. I immediately look away. Chase, please. Please just cut. Manipulation. Playing to his emotions. You fucking. I stare out across the field, unable to meet his eyes again. Stop smoking. I'll stop picking on Clint. I'll get rid of the gun. Just please come back. Just. I don't know, Leo. You know I don't like it here, and I feel like I should keep my options open to find a good job, a good place to live. Just for a year or two. While you're getting on your feet, I'll give you a place to stay. Sounds great, Leo, but to get back together, it sounds like setting ourselves up for the breakup, and I don't want to do that. Then we'd know for sure. How parents or school in the way. It'll just be us, and then even if it doesn't work out, there's some closure there. Fuck off. For the first time I see myself seeing things from Leo's point of view. I'm not necessarily losing anything by at least trying. And he's right, there really wasn't any closure, mostly because of me. Leo must sense my indecision because he immediately presses forward. And I'll be making enough to support you while you figure things out. Hey, I don't want to mooch. I don't mind, I'll just want you to be comfortable so you can do what you want to do. But... Echo! He goes quiet for a long while before he finally speaks up. No, that I can't fix, but I guess one way to decide is to weigh what's more important to you. You're asking me to choose. I'm not asking for that exactly. Leo glances at me. But if I did, I blow out a long sigh. So you are. He doesn't say anything. So my mind starts wandering over the years we'd spent together. Despite how much we'd fight, there's no question about what the answer is. And it hits me like a thunderbolt. It wasn't a choice, though. Chase, buddy, come on. Come on, no. No. Well, I'd choose you. All at once, his face explodes in a grin. So much happiness in one expression that I don't think I'd ever be able to take back what I just said, even if I wanted to. And instantly, I'm wrapped up in a tight, warm hug, one that crushes the air from my lungs. I'm not reading that. Hey! But you still got a year of school left, so we're gonna have to get back into contact, and we're gonna have to exchange. I clasp his muzzle with my hand, wrap my hand around it. I clasp his muzzle shut with my hand around it, and he just stares back at me with wide eyes. I didn't even say yes. Take my hand away from his muzzle. Oh, well, what do you say? Look again towards the sunset past the concrete bleachers and goalposts in the direction of Echo and take a deep breath. Look back at Leo. You gullible ass. You gullible piece of shit. Yes. I'm sorry. He's literally such a fucking... And he is kissing me. Of course he is. It's not rough like it was at the train yard. No. As ridiculous as it might sound, I can feel it. Of course you can. Totally. What the fuck now? Oh, thank Christ. I was ready for some spooky time. Leo's heavy, soft body presses... Okay, now. No. Okay. I am not reading this shit. I listen as Leo showers down the hall, and I smile as I hear him singing. I usually shower with him back in the day, but I was so tired I passed out as soon as we both finished. Ew! Once I opened my eyes again, Leo was already in the shower. About to drift off again when I hear Leo's phone buzz. He'd been out all day, probably trying to coordinate a meeting with the others. It's already Friday, which is hard to believe. We had to get together again before we lost the chance. Look over. The screen is already lit up, so I sit up and look. A message from Flynn. Yeah, well, fuck you too. Not exactly a surprising message to get from Flynn, but I still wonder what they're fighting about. From the sounds of it, Leo was still in the middle of his shower, still rocking out his diva pop song. You know, fuck it. Fuck it. With some amount of guilt, I reach over and grab his phone and open his texts. Immediately, I see a few pinned conversations. They're from me. Judging by the dates, they're from when I was still away at college. There's also a few saved attachments, and I quickly swipe away to the other more recent conversations. The latest is from early this morning, and it looks like it was to Flynn. Chase is a project to do. Bullshit, you're fucking with him. You're fucking with him again, huh? I'm helping him. You planned this from the start, didn't you? What? This whole thing was to get back in his pants. How about I plan this after you ruin the whole entire week, huh? Yeah, well, fuck you too. I frown. It's too bad Leo and Flynn are still fighting, but for some reason their exchange has me feeling uneasy. I pull up his next recent text thread, one with Carl. Carl asked Leo when they were hanging out again yesterday night. Leo pokes some fun at him about sleeping in the crawl space. Then Leo tells him that he isn't sure, that I'll probably be too busy with my project to hang out. Leo never asked me. I feel my head start to pound. Today, Carl texted again, asking how things were going. Leo tells him that I wanted to go to the high school for nostalgia's sake, that I wanted to be alone for it. He sent that 2 hours before we even got there, before he acted as if it was on a whim. Then Jenna asked if Leo was avoiding her, if she said something wrong. Leo tells her everything is fine, but again, I'm too busy to hang out. And then his text to TJ. Hey, yesterday was so much fun. I know you're probably going to be busy, but I wanted to check. She's still pretty sad about what happened Monday. I think he needs more time. Oh, okay. Please tell him I'm sorry. He told me he was fine yesterday, but I guess he must have been faking it for my sake. Yeah, he's still pretty broken up. We'll figure it out, though. I'm gripping the phone hard. Could Leo have really done all this? To TJ especially. This is what I'm talking about. You fucking see this shit. Do you see this? Did you not just fucking... This is what I mean by the fact that he's deliberately written to be a villain. He is deliberately written to be feared, to not be liked. This is what I mean. I am so glad I chose to spy because now I can actually justify me saying that. And before you say, oh, he's just not over Chase, and Chase was a dipshit for doing that prank. Yeah, it wasn't okay, but at the same time, you don't hold on to something like that for 3 fucking years, dude. Duh, and the fact that the hum was starting up there too. You know, the stereotypical fucking signal that something scary is about to happen. Well, all that's happening is you just going through his texts. That is just point blank evidence to me he's supposed to be a villain, or at least just not exactly a good guy. I sit there quietly, listen to my wolf continue to sing. My stomach twists up as I realize that I now have to confront him on this. I've let things slide before, but this is on a different level. I hug my knees and stare at the wall, feeling strangely violated now. As I stare, I see a dark spot with spilling light. Okay. The spider pauses as if acknowledging me before disappearing in the dark corner. Oh. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. We're doing this now. Okay. I sit on the hard, uneven ground, shivering as I try to cover myself up with the blanket. My eyes adjust enough for me to realize that I'm outside somewhere, looking through the branches of dead trees to the many stars above me. Aside from the calls of a few birds, it's completely silent. I stare at the sky above me for a while, wishing that it wasn't so cold so I go back to sleep. Where am I? The slight confusion I feel mixed in with the apathy of just waking up is a familiar feeling. I can remember when my parents forced me into Boy Scouts 10 years ago. I hated it so much, especially the camping. I could never fall asleep. When I finally did, it would be marred by me tossing and turning, waking up in confusion as to where I was. I'd sit up straight in the tent, looking around me for up to 10 minutes, wondering why I was in complete darkness and sitting in a sleeping bag. Except now there's no tent or sleeping bag. My mind works slowly like it's drenched in molasses, and I knead the ground with my fingers, digging them into the dead soil and vegetation. And then finally, I break through the barrier of the city and I realize that what's happening to me is real. I'm outside. I look left and right and see them surrounded by trees or bushes. The smell of sagebrush and dirt fills my nostrils as I unsteadily get to my feet. My limbs and flesh are numb from the cold, and I rub my hands up and down my arms, trying to find some warmth. Did I sleepwalk? I must have, unless Leo took me out here for some reason. Or someone else did. I shiver. There's not much else I can do except walk forward. Ahead of me, it looks like the branches clear out into more darkness. I hope that I'm just behind Leo's house where I know there are some bushes and trees. Either way, I can't be that far from the house. So I start walking, reaching out blindly to move past sharp branches and prickly bushes. The pain wasn't that bad, not nearly as bad as you'd think it'd be. I look back behind me, staring hard into the blackness. I can't see anything beyond the branches right in front of me, which gives the impression of gnarled teeth in front of a dark, endless mouth. Quickly, I turn back around and push through the dead vegetation in front of me, trying not to panic. But I knew I was dead the moment I looked down. A branch scrapes across my cheek, and another stabs me in the hip as I run right into it. Two stumps gushing blood, splashing the wheels of the train and rails. I finally break out into the open. Now I can see more stars above me, but the complete lack of a moon makes almost everything almost around me impossible to see. I can at least tell that it's a large clearing, but no matter how hard I squint, I can't see anything in front of me. Tentatively, I start walking forward, looking left and right for any sign of lights that might help guide me back to the town. I can feel a worrying seed of panic stirring up my chest, and I know it's going to explode out of me any second. The last thing I need is me running through the night, screaming my head off. Pretty soon I become aware of what looks like a large block in front of me. Again, I reach out my hands, walking slower as I approach whatever it is that's in front of me. I press up against something rough, hard, and cold. Whatever it is made up of some type of metal. It feels broken and rusted, so I assume it's old. Was it a warehouse of some kind? I sidestep to the right until my hands are up against some bars that stick out from the structure, and that's when it hits me. It's a freight car from the old train. Sure enough, the next thing my hands meet is empty space I come across from the open door I'd sat in earlier. I was out in the train yard. I almost laugh. Did my anxiety about finishing the project cause me to sleepwalk all the way back out here? At least now I know exactly where I am. I rest my hands on the edge of the car, breathing in the musty air inside. There's a hint of something sweet and sick on top of it, and it crosses my mind that anything could have crawled inside and died. I quickly move away from the car. Turning my body in the direction I know Leo's house is in, I start walking, pouring through my recent memories to see if I could somehow remember how the hell I got here. I remember Leo coming back into the bedroom, putting his arm around me. Then, nothing. I definitely fell asleep. Sleepwalking is the only answer. The sound of rustling behind me makes me jump, but I keep moving forward, not wanting some tiny creature in the grass getting me spooked. Squinting ahead of me, I see no lights yet, which is strange, because I know Echo should have at least a few lights on. The street lights, at least. A loud metallic clang fills the air, and this time I do whirl around. Hello? My voice is still scratchy from waking up, and I cough to clear it. Hello! The loudness of my voice actually startles me, but the response is silence. Did a bird hit it? Maybe I knocked something loose when I was feeling around. I'm definitely not going back to check it out, though, so with a quickened pace I start moving again. That's when I hear more shifting around in the car, like something is rolling around inside. I stop walking again and hold still, pricking my ears as I try to hold my breath, heart pounding. This time I don't call out, and instead just listen. I swallow, and it's so loud I almost jump at the sound. But again, that sound stops completely. I wait a while long before I start moving again, this time at a slight jog. A crazy thought enters my mind, where I think maybe Leo and I got really drunk and maybe we both came back out here and blacked out. And that Leo is in the train car right now, hungover and rolling around. It's in the middle of that thought, though, that the sound starts up again. It's louder this time, and ends with it coming off for a split second before something heavy thuds to the dead vegetation below. I stop again, but this time so that whatever it is doesn't hear me, knowing that if I keep walking, the heavy crunches of my footsteps will allow for it to pinpoint me immediately. My throat is completely dry, and a new thought enters my mind. It could be Clint. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he comes out there to sleep in the train cars. It would totally be something that he'd do. Well, it does ease my worries a little bit. I'm not fully relaxed, because I know the dumb fuck is a gun. I also know he wouldn't hesitate to shoot at something if it startled him. So I crouch down a bit, waiting, listening, and now I'm pretty sure I can hear breathing. Ragged, wheezy breathing that definitely sounds like Clint. I gather up some spit in my mouth so my tongue doesn't stick to the roof and take a small breath. Hey, Clint? I say it gently, quietly, but I'm sure he can hear me. I get some more silence in return, but I also get the distinct feeling that he's listening back. I try again. It's me, shit. There's an explosion of energy and sound in front of me, but it's not a gunshot. Instead, it's a sense of forward momentum that I can physically feel, that whatever is in front of me is lunging forward at me. Two loud thuds followed by the other, in less than half a second, followed by an explosive dragging sound. The cycle repeats the second it ends. Whatever it is sounds desperate, almost manic, but I don't stick around to find out because before I know it, my legs are carrying me through the clearing as fast as they can. All thoughts of what it could be are gone from my mind as I dodge into the trees and bushes to right, knowing that I break through the other side, I'll be right in front of Leo's house. What's behind me, though, is moving impossibly fast. Already it sounds like the distance between me and it has been cut in half, and as I'm struggling between branches and sagebrush, I hear it break into the brush with me. I gasp as full-on panic sets in. Leo! Leo! I scream as loud as I can, knowing that he should be able to hear me, also knowing that he sleeps like a rock. The thing behind me seems to double its efforts as the sound of my voice and the cycle of its movement increased. And now has the momentum of a gallop. My breaths are coming in panic gasp, and I know I'm not going to make it because it's only 3 feet behind me. As if a window opens up in the back of my mind, I see it. 2 clawed hands outstretched towards me. Face flashes by too fast for me to make out, but I manage to see a lipless mouth. And then it slams in my back and crushes me into the ground against sharp branches and rocks. I gasp as the air is crushed out of me. Before I can suck it back in, those hands wrap around my neck. I struggle and pull, but it's like I'm an ant under a foot. I'm so thoroughly pinned that I can't even budge an inch. There's hissing behind my head, and I feel dripping against the back of my neck. Tears squeeze out of my eyes. I try to reach for it, but it's like I'm paralyzed. Paralyzed. I'm yanked back suddenly, my face coming out of something soft and white. A pillow. Chase! Chase, you okay? Leo's husky voice whispers in my ear as I take in a huge gasp of air. Whoa, can't breathe? Cough and gasp, my face wet with tears. I sit up in bed looking around. Oh, baby, it's okay. Leo draws me into a warm hug and I take it limply, my mind only now catching up. I cough a few more times. Sorry. Paralysis, couldn't move. Leo rocks me a few times, making shushing sounds. I remember you telling me about that. Good thing I was here to pull you out of your pillow. I nod against his chest, realizing how dangerous it could have been if he hadn't been there. I usually came out of the paralysis in under a minute, but sometimes... I shudder and pull back out of the hug, wet in my face. Okay, before we continue, I need a drink of water. I need to say some things about that scene. Okay. So number one, really effective writing. Really effective horror writing. And also, that's a very common dream that you have, where you're chased by something. Also, I like how his actual physical reality affects the dream there, because that does happen. Because sometimes my alarm goes off and the alarm enters my dream before I wake up, and it's just like, it's weird. But yeah, that was really fucking effective. I like that. I like that scene a lot. What did you dream about? Try to think back, but the dream is fleeing my mind as fast, whatever it was that was chasing me. What was chasing me? I can't remember. He rubs my shoulder and looks at my face. It's dark, but I can see the white of his eye patches, giving him an almost ghostly appearance. Want to stay up? I can bake you tea or something. The adrenaline's already leaving me to be replaced by fatigue, but the offer sounds nice. Sure. Alright, want to come with me? I pause and shake my head, wanting to collect myself alone for a moment. No, just give me a second. Alright. Leo leans forward and kisses me on the forehead before leaving me alone in the dark room. I lay back down on my side, trying again to remember what I dreamed about. I was in the woods and something was after me. That's all I can recall. The warmth Leo left in bed as quickly as me drowsy again, but I'm about to drift off when something pokes me in the foot. I try to ignore it, but the thought of an insect or some kind of me reaching down to feel at it. It's hard and cracked, whatever it is. And when I pull it up, I find a dead leaf. Frowning, I pull back the sheets, and there, clinging to the fabric and fur on my feet, is dirt and leaves. Good job. Good job, Howley. Oh my god, I love this detail. I love this detail so much. It's so good. I fucking love. You know how I said that Leaves Are Out isn't like my favorite? It still isn't. But like, I did say it at good points. And these are like, this is a good point. This is like one of just it's such a minor detail in the grand scheme of things, but it's so fucking scary and creepy. Is it going to be Saturday now? Did we just completely bypass? Oh, okay, Saturday. I was completely wrong on my estimation of when Brian appeared. Oh my god, that was amazing. Leo wakes me up early the next day, telling me he has to settle some stuff with his dad at the shop. I don't get much of a chance to ask why or for how long before he's out the door, yelling something about food being in the fridge. Are we getting more kudzu content, please? I don't remember exactly, it's been a bit. I immediately fall back asleep, though, and when I open my eyes again, it's 2 hours later. Leo texted me half an hour ago. Still at Pop Shop, but be back soon. I think. I swallow back down the lump of dread in my throat and text messages. I didn't want to confront him, but not one bit, but I can't just let it sit. Something has to be said before I leave. I lay around for the 20 minutes before I grab my phone to browse a bit. That's when I realized I hadn't charged it last night. My battery was just 25%. Ew. I groan and throw an arm over my eyes. One day left to do the project. So far behind, though, that I'm not even feeling any anxiety about it at this point. Just resigned. I should have known better, really, that I wasn't getting anything done with Leo around. Stare at the wall for a while before I force myself to sit up. No use lying around. Might not be making my best project, but it doesn't mean I can't do a few things to make it less terrible. Food momentarily crosses my mind, and I shrug it off. I've never been a breakfast person anyway. As soon as I leave the house, I notice things are a bit off. Firstly, it's dead quiet. Usually there is some kind of drone, whether it's the wind or a plane overhead. There's usually something. No sound of birds either, and those were always chirping in the morning. I stand in the door for a bit, feeling a vague sense of tension, electricity in the air. Something building. I shake my head, feeling dizzy. That dreamless night has fucked me up in all kinds of ways, so it's not surprising it's probably still messing with me. I'll be glad to be gone from this place tomorrow. Some rustling next door draws my attention, and I see Kudzu carrying a set of clippers walk across his front yard. I open my mouth to say hi, but I hold back, feeling self-conscious. His brooding nature was a bit intimidating, and I don't know if he's the kind of person who expects a greeting or not. I'm not left to wonder long, though, because he spots me almost immediately and raises a hand. Morning. Oh, hey there. For setting his attention on a bush in front of him, sizing it up. Stand there awkwardly for a bit longer before wondering if that's the end of our exchange, but he speaks up again. Leo take off? He nods his head at the empty driveway. Oh yeah, earlier this morning. Walk down from the porch and walk over to the edge of Leo's lawn so it doesn't feel like we're yelling at each other. Said something about having to take care of business with his dad. I see. Kaiser stops trimming and looks up at me before smiling. You can come onto my lawn. It's not like I haven't licked your face or anything. Looking down, I see that I'm towing the edge of his immaculate lawn on Leo's side, looking like a little kid. I blush before I step over to crunch along the tan-colored gravel he has set out. It's weird how nice it all is, especially compared to the shitty trailer sitting in the middle of it all. If he had an Adobe-style house, the place would be Southwestern perfection. This all looks really nice. I guess gardening is your hobby? Thanks. Goodsey snips the bush rather aggressively. I like it. It's what I do most of the... You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm just gonna give him a British accent. Fuck it. The raccoon moves to the side of the bush, examining it. It's beautiful. He gives the bush another sniff of resting a hand in his hip while he lets the clippers dangle in the other. And it keeps you in shape. Can't argue with that. Although he's skinny, the muscles showed through the fur in his arms. He's probably the most in-shape guy I've seen in Echo. I realize I'm staring and quickly snap my eyes back to his, but he's already smirking. I worry he's about to point out that he's caught me, but instead he gestures to my camera bag and his clippers. Can I do something for your project? Yeah, I need to get more film before I leave tomorrow. Slender Raccoon wipes his forehead with a forearm. Anything in particular? I think. Not really, just old stuff to show the town's age. Because he sticks the clippers into the ground, looking up as he seems to think. I know of a few things. You could go to the old school. Yeah, I was headed there, actually. And then there's the ruins next to the lake. Yeah, I was gonna wait for Leo to drive me there later today. Other than that, there's an old rusted pump up the road, but I don't know if that's actually from Echo's earlier days. Couldn't hurt to look. Where is it exactly? Kudzu points over my shoulder up the road. Down past Duke's house, right before the convenience store. It's kind of hidden back there in some bush, but I can take you there. Oh, if it's no trouble. It's fine, I've got plenty of time to do this today. Oh, alright, thanks. Ship my bag on my shoulder and stand to the side as Kudzu tosses the clippers beside the bush, then starts walking towards the road. Well, I'm sorry. I wanted to do like a Brooklyn accent or like a New York accent for him because it kind of fits his character, but I couldn't fucking do it. God. Oh, I sat wrong. Ow. Okay. Falling quietly. Garen feeling awkward under his no sense no attitude. So, you and Leo getting along? Yeah, we're having fun. My mind wanders back to the text messages my stomach clenches. Good, he's been looking forward to this week for a while now. Wouldn't shut up about it last week. Somewhat surprised that it's Kudzu filling the silence between us. Not that I mind, he's pretty damn good at it for such a somber guy. Smile. Yeah, that's Leo. He really misses our old pack. Or does he? Kudzu huffs a laugh. Wolves. I agree. Wolves. As he walks and smell the heavy musk coming from the raccoon mingled with his scent neutralizer. Evidence of a hard day's work. There's something special about hanging out with another musky creature. Makes you less self-conscious. So I know you hate Peyton, but don't you have to go back there for work? Back in the day, I had a job studying desert plants after college. Good times. That would definitely put him a few steps above most everyone living in Echo, where a high school diploma is a rare thing. I'm a clerk in the town hall, so no, I'm pretty much always here. Always? Do you have a car? Sold it after I came here. Wow, don't you have to go to shop for food? Sometimes I grow and fish what I can, and the convenience store's a surprisingly good produce section, but otherwise Leo gives me rides once in a while. Ah, gotcha. Again, I'm curious about what exactly happened in Peyton. I'm gonna be gone by tomorrow, and I don't find the question to be too intrusive, especially with all the information he's provided me so far. So, I don't want to be nosy. I let the statement hang for a moment because he turns his head towards me. Then maybe you shouldn't ask. That stops me short and almost stop walking. Feel my face get warm under the heat of the sun. Bends over the raccoon with his expression isn't accusatory or angry. It's just as neutral as it always is. Makes me wonder if this is just the raccoon's way of speaking. I already know how blunt he can be. I decide to trust what little I know about him and press forward. No? Asking with the same straight face. Well, you should always ask yourself if asking something nosy is a good idea. No reason to do it if it's going to piss someone off needlessly. Before I can even consider, Kudzu goes on. But now, considering what you were just talking about, I can probably guess what you're going to ask. I feel the embarrassment returning. Yeah? But before I answer it, I have a question for you. I shrink a little more to myself. Yeah? Why do you care? This question definitely catches me by surprise, and at first I wonder if it's just Kudzu's way of telling me to shut up. But again, after looking at his face, I decided to just tell him the truth. Clear my throat. Well, I like you. You're a cool guy. Comes out rather lamely, but it is the truth. He's a demeanor of not really giving a fuck what others think of him. Stoicism. I like stoicism. It's like Flynn, except Kudzu doesn't seem like he was putting up a front at all. On top of that, he stepped in to stop a crowbar-wielding drug addict from when he saw his friend in danger. Kudzu laughs, genuinely, it's a bit startling. That's really the reason. I'm flustered again. Well, yeah. Fair enough, and I like you too. Leo was right about you. Mostly right about you. What did he say about me? A lot of things, but you can't expect a wolf as love spit in his ears not to exaggerate, can you? No, guess not. Stepping a particularly large rock made me lose my balance. Before I could even stumble, though, Kudzu's grabbed my arm tightly, stopping me from running into him. Whoa, sorry, and thanks. This raccoon had damn fast reflexes. No problem. Start to walk again, but Kudzu doesn't move. Stop and glance at him, but he's looking up the road, not at me. I lost someone in Peyton. Takes me a moment to realize what he's talking about, but then I do. By a guy with a gun who didn't give a fuck. I swallow and don't say anything, looking down at the ground. Happened on the same street we lived on. Of course, I have no idea what to say and wait for Kudzu to go on, but he doesn't. When I look up, I see it. He's looking right at me. I swallow. Yeah, that would make me want to move too. Yeah, people, and there's less of them here. Sorry. Kudzu just looks back at me. Why? Put my mouth before I can say anything, Kudzu smiles. Kidding. Put my breath out in relief and laugh a little. Well, should we keep going? Make as if to walk up the road again, but Kudzu doesn't follow. When I look back, he nods at the brush on the side of the road. It's right in there. Oh, fuck. I think you know where we are, guys. I think you know where we are. If you've seen my Arches playthrough, you know that this is near Brian's trailer. Fuck. Oh boy. Mostly it's just a rusted piece of metal sticking out of the ground. Kudzu seems a bit put off by how lame it is himself. Smaller than I remembered it being. Meh, it's something at least. I'll get a few shots out of it. Start unpacking the camera from the bag, a bit reluctant to do it for something so insignificant. How'd you find this thing anyway? Look towards the road, which is basically hidden by the dense brush in front of me. I need to take a piss. I know my house is right there, but being outside is liberating. Ah. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go do that. He pauses. I can do it in front of the pump if you'd like, for effect. I force a laugh, wondering if this is the first time I've heard the raccoon make a joke. At least I hope it's a joke. My laughing turns to a groan, though, when I see the battery level. First my phone, now this. What's up? Kudzu asks from a bit deeper in the brush, facing away from me. My battery's low, not gonna have enough for the school. I'll have to go back and grab a spare. Oh, well, why don't you finish the footage for the pump while I run back and grab your other battery? Sure. Well, yeah, I'd be faster. I've been in his house a few times. Where's it at? In a dock on his desk, next to his computer. Alright, I'll be back. And with that, Kudzu chugs off, out of the bush and back onto the road. It is so hard to do acting with such a fucking silly accent. Good grief. The minute I feel like I have all the footage I can get out of the pump. I sigh, rub my face, glad at least to be out of the sun, but annoyed that I've gotten so little footage for it. As I'm doing this, I hear what sounds like a gag behind me. I perk my ears and look back. I hear it again, but it's softer, more of a grunt this time. Almost positive that Kudzu didn't go that way, but I can't imagine who else it could be. Kudzu? I wonder if maybe the heat has gotten to him. I know how dangerous a heat stroke can be. Getting a little worried, I start moving further into the brush. Again, I hear a gag, and it's much louder this time. Cud, you alright? I start pushing deeper with a bit more urgency. Not 20 yards in, I come into a clearing. This wasn't Leo's route, remember? Except it was tinged red, but still. Carl's route, not Leo's route. We're in Leo. Whatever. You get the point. The ground is covered in dead grass, and the sun hits me again with a vengeance. I blinked furiously, eyes watering around the brightness of the clearing and the blazing red behind my eyelids. After a few seconds, I'm able to pry my eyes open. The first thing I notice is a peeling trailer to the right, pressed up into the trees. I have some vague memories of a trailer back here where a grumpy badger used to live. Straight in front of me in the meadow is a dead tree, one with dry, gnarled branches that twist up into the sky. The tree itself would be eerie enough, but it's who's under it that stop but it's what's under that stops me dead. It takes a moment to comprehend what I see. Hanging from the lowest branch is a body, long and thin, emaciated down to the skeleton. I remain rooted to the spot, my mouth hanging open. Disgustingly, my mind immediately goes to the camera. I don't know why. Yeah, showing footage of a dead body to the whole class. Either I get an A for being edgy or I'd fail for showing a fucking dead body. Probably expelled, actually. But my stomach's starting to turn. I'm finally able to take my first step back. But then it moves. It's a quick jerk, one of the skeleton's hands reaching up spasmodically to its neck before slumping back down. With my eyes fully adjusted to the sun now, I recognize the color of the fur, the build of that skeleton-like body. Clint! I'm not so fit I manage to stumble forward and reach out towards the ringtail, aiming to at least hold him up until he can shout cuts over to help. Somehow, though, he's able to spin around and face me, his expression of mortified fury. His eyes are almost glowing with how bloodshot they are, and his twisted muzzle is covered in drool, leaking down his chin into his chest. Get it back! Leave! What, Clint? What the hell are you doing? That was fucking shit. Wow. I move forward again, but Clint lashes out with a foot, hitting me in the knee. That's when I see his toes are touching the ground, at least barely. I stare in confusion and look back up to meet Clint's furious eyes. Fucking leave! Spit flies from his muzzle as I take a step back, completely at a loss for words. I don't... His bulging eyes move from mine to look over my shoulder, and his enraged expression melts, eyes growing white. Oh no! Here comes Brian. Slowly, I turn around and my vision is filled with a mountain of brown fur. My eyes take a moment to draw out and focus, and when they do, I realize I'm actually looking at a bear. A huge one. Even for a bear. Huge, naked, and carrying a long, thin branch, the bear stands in the direction I'd come from, grinning stupidly at me. Instinctively, I widen my stance, eyes looking left and right. I can't hide how. Okay, whatever. All reason is being left the land of Echo, and now my brain is left to try and put the pieces of the crazy place together. I watch as a huge tongue sticks out from between the blubbery lips to lick it. Okay. Sliding slimily between the gaps of missing teeth. Once he's done with that, he breaks out into a grin again, those black lips shimmering under the sun. This a friend, cat. Weirdly high-pitched voice is almost as startling as his size. Look back at Clint, who's still struggling to stand on his toes, clutching at the rope now. So hard finding a good switch back there. But now if it's working, there's 2 years. Squeak that comes out of my muzzle seems to perk the bear's stubby ears, and he licks his lips again as he eyes me up and down. I think I should get going. Sorry about seeing. Words fail me as the bear takes a step forward, and I start sidestepping, preparing myself to make a run for it. The bear mimics my stance, and my stomach drops as I see him take another step forward. Change my trajectory and back away instead. This time he doesn't follow me, just grins as he watches me move back into the brush. Clint struggles on the end of the rope, the end of his rope twirling around lazily. As he tries to get a foothold, I get one last look at his face. He spins around and I'm struck by the expression. For a moment, I'm 9 years old again, running between the buildings and Main Street. I'm probably from imaginary foreign agents of some kind. When I hide behind a tree next to Clint's house, there the screen door open, and for several minutes, I watch Clint breathing deeply into a rag. I'm too young to understand, but for some reason, know it's not good. Finally, we decide to run from my hiding spot. Clint looks up and we meet eyes. His are wide and wild, confused and hurt, just like now. I stumble into the brush, finally feeling like I'm far enough away to turn and really make a run for it. Katsu was standing next to the pump when I get back, holding the battery. What? I grab his arm and yank him towards the road. Come on! I mutter in my breath before jogging down the road, Katsu close behind, looking over his shoulder. It's not until we're at the end of the road, turning onto Main Street, before I'm able to slow myself down and tell Katsu what happened. Holy shit, that's Brian! Who? I'm still panting, sweating heavily in the heat under the short jog down the street. Big ass bear that lives in the brush, right? He has a trailer in there. I don't know him. Did he move here after I left? I thought a badger lived in that trailer. I assume so. He was here when I got here. Well, what the fuck was he doing? What the hell did I just see? My mind is still trying to process it. I don't have the answer. Can't say I'm surprised, though. Are you serious? That's like the most fucked up thing I've ever seen. Katsu smirks. Well, I guess I would have had to been there, huh? Stare at him. Yeah, I guess. But from what I know of Brian, he's dumb and violent. I'm pretty sure he came here because he caused too much trouble in Peyton. But it's Clint. That's the fucked up part. He's a fucking homophobe, but he's doing that shit? I don't know much about Clint either. What I do know is that Brian is his dealer. Really? Well, really the entire town's dealer. Made sense that Clint would need one in Echo, considering he was banned for life from driving after getting like 3 DUIs. But I thought Jeremy did that. Carl's told me that's where he gets his weed. Kazu shrugs again. I assume Clint is using more than just marijuana. Huh. It's becoming clearer what kind of relationship Clint and the bear have. I shudder just wishing that I hadn't had to witness it. I already feel bad for Clint, but now... Kudzu holds out the battery still in his hand. Want to move to the school? Yeah, let's do that. The next hour is pretty uneventful, though I do get enough footage to the point where I'm satisfied. There is a point where I notice Duke down the road. He stands there for a while, watching us as I'm getting different angles of the school. It's annoying, but even though he's a complete fuck-up, he likes to pretend he's in control of things in Echo. Probably just promote himself to sheriff of the town in his mind or something. I ignore him, though, and the next time I look up, he's gone. Turn my attention back to the project, finally able to calculate how much work I actually have left. Now, most of the work is going to have to happen the night before the due date. Swallow, stomach churned at the thought. On the bright side, all of the stress is pushing the memory of Clint being hanged and whipped out of my mind. Later on, I finally get another text from Leo just before my phone dies. Heading back. I'm hungry. We should meet at the diner. Sure. I invite Kudzu to come along, but he tells me that he can't stand diner food and he was going to go fishing anyway. It's too bad because I've really been enjoying the raccoon's company and fishing sounds relaxing. It's so fucking funny that if he actually went with Kudzu to go fishing, none of this fucking route would happen. Well, none of the route after this part would happen. I try to exchange number with the raccoon, but my screen died when I turn it on. Kudzu takes my number, though, and promises to text me. I'm feeling better walking to the diner, and then I remember what happened with Leo, what I might have to do. Should I bring it up now? I don't even know where it'll end up going. Could I even trust him again? Oh, fuck. We're getting closer and closer to the part that fucked me up so badly. I mean, the part that we just experienced, like, just the descriptions of fucking Brian, Just the descriptions alone were enough to, when I first read it, send me into panic mode, like straight up fight or flight. But like, what's coming up is worse. And I honestly don't know if I'm going. I'll probably age restrict this video honestly because it's that bad. I mean, it's nothing like that. What you're thinking? It's bad though. It's it's real bad. Leo's not in the diner when I get there. I pick a booth towards the back, resting my head against the patchy cushions and closing my eyes. The weeks gone by so fast. Feels like only yesterday that we actually got here. Thinking back, I remember worrying that everything was going to be awkward, that our past would catch up in the worst way possible. And it kind of did. We didn't fix or talk about anything. It gives me a jolt of realization and sadness. This whole time I've been preoccupied with Leo and Leo with me. Wasn't Leo the one that it all was all about, all concerned about us keeping the pack together? This send-off feels empty and pointless. You don't say. It's really the last time I might get to hang out with some of them, mainly Jen and TJ. And TJ had the most shit to air out. Did I fuck up by basically ignoring him this whole time? I feel a lump in my throat as I think about the hike I never went on with him. Sure, I'd figured things out with Leo at least, temporarily. Very temporarily, actually. Already things are in jeopardy again. But now it feels like things I should have talked about with the others have been buried further. Even though I haven't seen the others for a few days, I can feel the resentment knowing that Leo and I got what we wanted. Or at least, I thought I got what I wanted. Especially after leaving them to deal with the fallout of Flynn's meltdown. Now, because of that, it'll be harder to reach the root of the problem, harder to talk about it. And because of that, we probably never will. I glance at my... Why the fuck? Okay. I thought his eyes were missing. I suppose this is life. Sometimes things are buried and never talked about again. And in a way, I guess it's for the best. Sydney's death will die with us. It just sucks that we all carry it, but can't rely on each other for support. I take a deep breath where no longer it will take me to process this whole trip, or maybe my entire life up to this moment. It's at this point that I notice Janice doesn't come up to my order. This is what I meant by this route has the most hysteria content. The Leo's route is the one where you get to actually experience the hysteria firsthand. You don't, hear about it, you aren't hallucinating the whole time. You actually live this shit in this route. And it's so harrowing. It's just so much. So fast. And honestly, Saturday is going to be very long. I can already tell, because my memory of this route, of this day, is coming back very fast, and it's a long one. So I don't know if I should just end the video now and do it later or something, but you know what? I'm not up for this right now. I gotta be honest. I'm not up for this fucking scene that's about to happen. Not in the slightest. It's not, no. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.